Nice.
What's up folks, this is Warden, and today we'll be looking at Remnant from the Ashes, which has been published on 2019 for PC and console platform, and recently has been free on PS Plus, which I've took the opportunity to make content out of it. Big braining time guys, big braining. In this video I'll be showing you guys the advantages and disadvantages of this game, and we will see if the game worth playing or not. But before we start, I'd like to say thank you for watching, and don't forget to leave a like and subscribe to me, and don't forget to share. The first thing you will notice is the beautiful art design of the area and those little details they've put in the game. They really nailed it in this way, and sometimes you will just stop and admire the show, admire the view. Just like Apocalypse on Earth, the desert, the swamp, the jungle, the creepy dungeons and laboratories all together made a beautiful area for you to explore. But alongside the beautiful design and graphics, there is a rendering issue. The rendering on some parts are very slow. I mean, it's not very effective on your gameplay, but it will be enough for you to make notice. For example, when you start the game, right out of the bat, you will notice this thing. Now let's talk about the enemy and boss designs. In my opinion, they're not unique. I mean, I've seen some similarities in Dark Souls series or Bloodborne or other series. I mean, it's fine, they have their unique design in the way, but you can find some similarities.
Nice.
They did the fuck too? Come on guys! About the sound effect and music in this game, each weapon has its own unique sound, and the same goes for the environment. They've done a very good job on sound effects and stuff, but let's be honest here, some of the enemies sound just doesn't make sense. I mean, look at the roots, for example. Roots are tree-like creatures. They are something like a tree, and they sound like a zombie. As for boss musics, they're not just very memorable, and they won't stick to your mind as a very heroic song or anything, and they sometimes get lost between the shootings and boss sounds. Now about the story. The short version of the story of this game is that the Earth has been exposed to roots which like to kill anything alive. Through connecting these creatures to a person, a human, called dreamers. Now dreamers are extraordinary humans that can see through dimensions. And the interesting part is, these dimensions are actually happening on Earth. These are Earth's other dimensions. And as a hero of this game, you should find the source of this dreamer and find him and kill him, so you can put an end to human's miserable extinction. This story has so many potentials for being a very good story, but they ruined it with some very boring characters and boring NPC designs and dialogues. which are not very helpful with the game. And by the way, I've made this game on Platinum, so I've tried to play a lot of games. I have more than 60 hours playing this game, so that's why I'm saying about this story that is boring. It's not very useful. Not to mention that there could be some more endings to the game. I mean, this story could have more ups and downs. And by the way, it's a shame I can't kill NPCs, or I would definitely kill this bitch.
My time. We're done here? Yeah? Better be worth my time. Yeah, good. Now go. What now? I've got work to do.
Alright, now we've reached the favorite part, the gameplay. As for gameplay, this game is a third-person shooting game with the element of hardcore. By hardcore I mean it's a game that is very hard. I mean, I've been frustrated during playing Dark Souls and Bloodborne only 2 times, I think. Only 2 times. But in this game, I think I got frustrated like 10 times or more. This game is so hard in that stuff. And yeah, you die, and die multiple times. As all of you or many of you know, many games have a feature called New Game Plus. Whenever you beat a game, you can start from over and keep your levels and stuffs. This game instead has a re-rolling thing, which is pretty interesting because you can re-roll your map anywhere and anytime you like, and you won't lose a thing. The only thing you will lose is the story items, which makes sense because you restart your story. This is very unique because I've never seen this feature in other games that I've played myself, and it really impressed me. And the nice thing about this game is you can actually change the difficulty level from normal to nightmare. All of the captured videos that you're seeing are in a hard mode level, and I've never touched the nightmare because I'm not masochist. Playing For Honor is enough pain for me. Please, no more. Whenever you reroll your campaign mode, you'll get a chance to encounter new dungeon bosses, new events, new items, and new bosses, which is pretty fantastic. It will give you much more variety every time you want to restart a game and play from the first time. But after some time it will get a bit boring because the spawning percentage of some bosses are a bit lower than the others, and you just need to play some bosses again and again, fight against bosses again and again. But overall, this is very interesting. Let me show you guys an example. For example, the Ravager and the Totem Father. These are 2 separate bosses. We'll show only in one map, in one playthrough. If you like to farm more materials for upgrading and you like to fight in a specific map, this game actually gives you the opportunity to do so. There is another game called Adventure Mode. Instead of the campaign mode, you can choose your map and play there. This is so good because if you're in need of materials and you don't want to reroll your campaign, you can just easily jump into the adventure mode. Alright, now let's talk about traits and weapon modes and armor features in this game. Whenever you level up, you'll get a trait point. It's not like Souls series or Bloodborne, which you need your souls and your currency to level up. You'll get XP by killing the enemy, the bosses, and do some activities like solving some riddles. And which is great because you don't need to worry about your death. You can die freely and easily. Doesn't matter, you won't lose anything. Which is a blessing in my opinion. Now let's talk about these traits. These traits are actually obtainable during the playthrough. Some of them will drop from bosses, some of them will drop from doing some activities, and by leveling them up you will get some more powers, like some of them give you high critical rate, some of them give you faster stamina regeneration and stuff like that. Now let's talk about the modes. The modes are actually deployable skills on your weapons. Some of them will act as a minion summoning, some of them are projectiles and stuff like that. These features are the best features in this game and very fun to use, and they are actually very helpful during your game, so you should choose wisely which mode you should put on your weapon. I personally at least go with one summoning mode, because more allies are the best thing in the games. Not even the weapons, the armors have some passive skills. They will give you some extra skills in the battlefield. For example, some will give you some regeneration of health, some will increase your critical under some conditions. For example, the regeneration thing is whenever your health is full, it will stack up until 10, for example. So these are armors and weapons. I think, in my opinion, the mechanic in the weapons and armors are one of the best things I've ever seen in the whole games like these. I mean, other games like Soul series have some skills, but this one is pretty interesting because you can actually customize your modes and your armors. Not, to be honest, armor is permanent, but you can change between armors and get interesting passives. The materials for upgrading your armor and weapons are very common. You can easily farm them, but be careful. The last upgrade requires a material that is very rare, so you must think about which weapon you should actually max. Alright, now it's the time to talk about the enemies and the boss fights. For the enemies, I mean, this game, as I told you before, is very hard. You must be very focused and you must keep your distance, unlike other games, because this is a shooting game. You must have distance from others, and some of your enemies will actually shoot at you as well. So this game is difficult in that way. But now let's talk about the boss fights, which is a very bit of a bummer, to be honest. The bosses are no challenge. I mean, don't get me wrong, I died multiple times fighting the bosses, not because of the boss movesets, because of the minions. Like 90% of the bosses in the game has minions, and you must say, oh hello, look, this boss is alone. And I say kindly, because they are two! Only the minions have the best damages on you while you're locked on the boss, because the boss itself doesn't have so much movesets, so much hard movesets. They are pretty much slow and you can easily read them. I mean, if you only fight against a boss alone, the max death you will get is 1, in my opinion. One time you'll die and you have downloaded all of the moves that boss has. But because of the minions, I mean, look at that. While you're aiming, your visual side is very limited. You can't see the sides and your back. Only the sounds of your enemies is helpful here, which is not while the boss is roaring around and stuff and you're shooting. The controller responds very good to aiming and shooting, but using modes, dodging and sometimes healing has some problems in this game. on the platform that I'm playing. For example, sometimes the boss is faster than your dodge recovery, so you dodge the first attack and you get caught by the second attack because you're still recovering from the first dodge you've done. After dealing some damage to an enemy, it will stagger the enemy, and sometimes while the enemy is staggered, they will get immune to some of your first attacks, and that's not pretty nice. There are riddles hidden in the game which you must pay attention to actually find them, and they reward the player with armor sets, modes, or some other stuff like trinkets and stuffs. And in order to solve them, you must actually get more information about the environment, like reading a book or listening to a song or find a scratch on the wall. There are actually secrets in the game. For example, if you like to talk to the tree, you need a mask from killing an NPC. And yes, I've said before, NPCs can't be killed, and that's right still, because you can't actually damage them before talking to them and make them angry, so they should attack you first. And in order to, for example, avoid a boss fight like Ravager, you have an option to put the boss into sleep with ringing some bells. The game provides a multiplayer mode for you as well. You can choose between playing with only friends, or in a public server, or in an offline mode. Which is great because sometimes you just like to play with your friends, so you don't want to get bothered by random summons. And the another thing in multiplayer mode is you can kill your ally, you can have traits for killing your allies, but there's no competitive mode in that. There's only a help mode, for, in my opinion, because they can only help you with the level and boss fights, nothing more. And this game could be a masterpiece, but it has so much lack in the gameplay, in the multiplayer, in the story, so that's a bit of a bummer. Alright, with all being said, let's get to a conclusion and let's see if this game is actually worth buying or not. In my opinion, this game is not very solid, but it's actually worth playing, to be honest. But my best recommendation is for players who've done Dark Souls series, Bloodborne, and other series like Demon Souls and stuff, and they still not satisfied and want more. This game is for you. And for you guys that are interested in trying some hard game that'll beat the shit out of you, I'd recommend first go and play Dark Souls series and those games, and put this game the least priority, because in my opinion it's not that fantastic of a game, although it has some interesting things in it. And to be honest, this game has a DLC and it didn't really catch my eye to actually buy the DLC and actually think to myself, okay, let's play more of this game. And yeah, that's right. Comparing to a game like Witcher 3, although these two are different games, but I've played The Witcher 3 three times, and still I yearn for going back because of the story, because of the gameplays and stuff. This game lacks that. And the first time you beat the game, you actually really don't like to go back to it. Alright, let's finish the video here. Thank you guys for watching. I'll be put some boss fights of the game in further videos that I'll be publishing, so be sure to hit the subscribe button and don't forget to share it. And Let me know what you think about the review and the game in the comments down below. And by the way, don't forget to join my community in the Discord. The links are down in the description. I'll be waiting for you there, and see you guys next time. Take care.